Welcome to Morning Joe on this Friday, March 6th, and we begin with breaking news in the war with Iran. The push to punish Iran is expanding from the battlefront to the banking system. Morning Joe has learned that the United Arab Emirates moved forward early this morning on its threat to freeze billions of dollars in Iranian assets. That's according to a top official in the region speaking with Joe. The UAE has long been a financial hub for Iran and its business interests, seeking to avoid Western sanctions. The Wall Street Journal had reported that such a move by UAE officials would sever a key economic lifeline for Iran and cut off its access to foreign capital and trade. The Iranians, who have fired over 1,000 missiles into the UAE, have suffered a sharp economic downturn that was responsible for public demonstrations that led up to the American and Israeli attacks on that country.
David Ignatius, we're going to get into the specifics of the military side of the war, but the Journal had reported that if the UAE went through on this, it would have a crippling effect on their economy because they've used the UAE as a conduit to avoid Western sanctions, that this would severely limit currency, their ability to get foreign currency and trade. I'm curious, now that the UAE has moved forward with this, what impact do you see it having?
So, Joe, I think it'll have both political impact and economic impact. The economic is obvious. The UAE holds enormous volumes of Iranian assets. It's the place where Iran does business. And so just in economic terms, it will squeeze Iran at a time when it needs to have access to its money and assets. Politically, it's significant as a sign that Iran's strategy of attacking the UAE and other Gulf countries has totally backfired. The Iranians were hoping that by launching missiles and drones at key UAE cities early in the war, there have now been over 1,000 drones launched on the UAE. They would intimidate the Emiratis into basically stepping back from the war, not supporting the U.S. and Israel. And the opposite has happened. Emiratis have gotten angrier. They've talked about their willingness, if pressed, to take offensive action. So on both fronts, the actual economic squeeze on Iran and the demonstration of the political impact of unwisely choosing to attack the UAE and these Gulf countries, it's significant on both levels.
And Willie, it's just fascinating to me that as poor as the economy has been doing in Iran, and with them obviously suffering these military attacks, to launch the most missiles at any country other than Israel, to launch it at the country that is responsible for your economic lifeline, seems more than short-sighted. That is just extraordinarily stupid. And the Emiratis, my reporting is that the Emiratis let the Iranians know. Like, if this continues, we're going to freeze your assets, which, again, as the Wall Street Journal reported last night, if they were to follow through on this, it would cripple them economically, and the Iranians kept going.
Yeah, Iran has fired more than 1,000 drones and missiles at UAE, which, as you and David just laid out very well, is frankly the country that keeps Iran afloat, allowing it to avoid Western sanctions. It's been a haven for their businesses, for them to park oil money that funds the IRGC and these military operations. So effectively, they attacked one of their main benefactors in a very, very curious, and I'll use the word dumb move perhaps now, because UAE, perhaps they didn't think the UAE would take this step, but according to your reporting this morning, they have gone that route. David Ignatius, I wonder, would we see more of this across the Gulf region? Because the UAE is not alone in having been attacked by Iran. This appears, this move, to have further isolated the Iranian government right now.
Willie, there have been strong statements over the last 2 days, stronger than I would have expected, from both Qatar and from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has seen its oil facilities at Ras Tanura hit, direct strike, and Qatar has seen attacks on some of its natural gas delivery facilities, leading to an enormous spike in the price of natural gas. I mean, the gas impact is even higher than the oil impact coming out of the Gulf. So both countries have issued statements making clear how angry they are, and again suggesting that they might be prepared to take action themselves against Iran. So across the Gulf, you have an unusual unity of these countries, which had been trying up until the beginning of the war to ease their relations with Iran, to find ways to de-escalate in general the confrontation. Not anymore. Now they're angry.